All right, my food mood friends, welcome back. Chandra Zas, Zen Odyssey, gut health, made doable without missing out. It's possible, it's doable. That's what we do around here. All right, I've got some books for you. I've got my staple books that I recommend to anybody and everybody on a gut health journey. These are I've read a lot of books. In fact, you can see a lot of the books that I own. It's so nice having my books near me. I don't always get to have my books with me. So I love reading about gut health. I love reading about the mind-body connection, the gut-brain connection. I love reading about stress. In fact, I have a really good stress book over there, When the Body Says No. But today I want to focus on these three. I consider them my foundational books. So I have three books. One is Gut and Psychology Syndrome. It's also known as GAPS. You've heard it. The Body Ecology Diet by Donna Gates. And Nourishing Traditions. These are the three books that I think are quintessential to gut health. Now, the Body Ecology Diet and Nourishing Traditions are pretty much for everybody. Everybody would massively benefit from these two books. This one has a lot of really good recipes. This author, Sally Fallon, she also has a book that is geared towards babies and kids, which is what I just inhaled when I had a little baby. I read every single word of that book, and I really used a lot of that to really set my little one up for, she has incredible gut health and incredible brain function that I really attribute a lot to Sally Fallon's Nourishing Traditions. I don't remember what it says, for babies and kids or something like that. So I think this is like a really good staple for gut health. It talks a lot about the importance of fermented foods. It talks a lot about the importance of fats and oils and animal proteins and organic. That's kind of like, I would say, the bottom line. She also talks a lot about like keeping toxins out of our body, which is one of the big messages that I teach in my gut health program. Is like, gut health is a combination of feeding our body a lot of nutrient dense foods and avoiding and not putting in, or putting in as little as possible, the toxins, whether they're from the water, the environment, or our skin products, whatever. I mean, there's so many ways that toxins come into our body. The best we can do for our gut health and our overall health is limit those toxins. She talks about that. Now, the Body Ecology Diet has a whole nother thing. I read this book, one of my really dear friends in college, we did this book together, and I really love her approach. It's a lot about thinking about our internal system as an inner ecosystem and how to really tend and care for our inner ecosystem. I like to think of our inner ecosystem kind of as like the microbiome, and that we have all of these little creatures and we have this amazing, seemingly invisible universe living in us, with us, but it's actually really there, and it's actually like plays a big role in our health and gut function and brain function and mood function. So she really talks about like how to keep the balance. And the motto that I've developed is feed and protect the friendly and starve the unfriendly. It's really, really easy to feed the unfriendly. Like, that's what the normal diet does. The normal diet eats sugar and processed foods and flours and juices and all of the acidic things. And these are all the things that disrupt the inner ecosystem. It's really easy to disrupt our inner ecosystem. To actually nourish and protect and feed the good guys, the friendly creatures in our microbiome, it really means eating a different diet than most people eat. It means not eating processed foods. It means really focusing on organic and oils and proteins, and not the comfort foods, not the sodas, not the fast food. So it's, from mainstream, it's a pretty big shift. But I would say every single person would benefit from reading this book and applying many of these practices. I actually haven't opened this book in a while. She does, I'm pretty sure that it's this book that talks a lot about cultured foods and also sea vegetables, how really a lot of our diets really lack sea vegetables, and how eating seaweed has a lot of minerals and different really beneficial components for our digestive system and our inner ecosystem. So this is a book I really, really recommend to everybody. I don't really like using the word Bible, but Bible is coming to mind. This is kind of my Bible when it comes to food and the gut. But this is one of the most profound books. This is a book that I actually handed a doctor friend of mine who had what did he have? Crohn's? IBS? It was a long time ago. I don't remember which gut problem he had. But he knew that I'd been studying gut health stuff and doing all kinds of alternative stuff for quite a while. And he was like, tell me, like, what's the point? Like, what's the main thing I can do? And I handed him this book, and it changed his life. He was able to totally solve his digestive problems. So this book is Gut and Psychology Syndrome. And it talks a lot about the connection between our brain and our gut. It talks a lot about how a lot of mental disorders, like they cite some specific things about schizophrenia and epilepsy and ADHD, and there's a few more. But that how when people who have certain mental problems, brain problems, when they're put on this diet, that their mental mind problems clear up. And so it's a really good connection between what we put in our mouth that goes into our gut and how much it affects our brain. So the whole point of this book is that when people are in a more serious digestive place, when they have like depression, I would put in the serious category, or when you have like diagnoses and you have like, bleeding and ulcers, and when you have like kind of like far down the line issues, this is really the book that I recommend. This book, it's pretty strict. It has, and I like to always tell people, like, if your symptoms are in the mild state, you haven't accumulated too much disease yet. If your symptoms are more in the severe state, it's going to take some time to unaccumulate those and let your body release the stuff that's built up and that's causing problems. So this book, Gut and Psychology Syndrome, GAPS Diet, what it does is it asks you to take out grains and almost all sugars out of your diet for a year to really allow your gut to repair itself. The unfriendly bacteria, like I was talking about in the other book, they are the ones that cause a lot of problems and cause a lot of inflammation and cause a lot of acidity and cause disease and so I found that there's a really big pattern amongst a lot of different theories that I've read, that when the body gets imbalanced, one of the best things that we can do is cut out glucose from our diet. So I'm not only talking processed sugars, I'm also talking the glucose that comes from sweet potatoes and carrots and fruit. That when our gut is so far off, that our inner ecosystem is imbalanced, that really limiting, sometimes completely limiting the fructose or the glucose and the fructose, then that is what allows our body to really repair. And so the GAPS diet, what it does is it takes all of the grains out of your diet for a year. The idea is that you really give your body this reset period of time to really let the gut lining repair, to let your body really repair itself, to give it a break. I like to think of like when our guts are off, when we have poor digestion, I like to think about it in a way of like, after you're sick, when you have like a cold or a flu, you don't really want food, right? Like the only thing nothing really sounds or tastes good. You just want kind of like broth and something really, really plain. I know some of you, like actually when I was a kid, I remember thinking that being sick was an excuse to eat ice cream. My throat is sore. I need ice cream. I can't believe that I got away with that as a kid. It's like, I would never let my little one get away with that. It's like the worst thing. If you're healthy and you have healthy cravings and you have a healthy relationship to your body, then you would crave really simple things like broth. And that is really what our gut needs. When our gut is in balance, when our inner ecosystem is off, what we need is really simple things that are just nourishing to our body and don't feed any of the bad guys or the unfriendly bacteria, and really give our body that break to release things and to heal and maintain. So depending on where you're at in your gut health journey, You should read this book. This book is incredible. If you're having severe stuff, check this out. This book, if you're listening to this, you're not actually knowing which book I'm holding up. So everybody, I'll repeat that. Everybody could use the Body Ecology Diet. It's amazing maintenance, gut health Bible. I can't believe I'm saying the word Bible. That's funny. And if you're in a serious place where your gut is messed up, then check out the Gut and Psychology Syndrome, the GAPS diet. And the Nourishing Traditions has a lot of really good recipes and a lot of really good brain-changing opinions on fats, especially animal fats. And if you're going to have a baby, or if you're thinking about having a baby, read her book that she has about mother preparing for the baby and how to feed the baby and to really set the microbiome up for a lifetime of goodness. So those are my 3 favorite gut health books. Let me know what you think. Give me some comments. Tell me if you've read these books. Tell me if you think there's another one that I'm missing. Another book I really want to talk about is Sugar Blues, because Sugar Blues is such a good connection of like food and mood. But anyway, these are my 3 favorite gut health books. Go check them out and tell me in the comments what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about it, and have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week.